Hi, I'm Courtney Reynolds, and this is why I want to be an interpreter. Um, I've always had a fascination with sign language. I guess since I was 11, 12, or 11 or 12. I was in a sign language, we called it a sign team at church. We would sign to music. We would do we would take a song and put it into sign language and perform it for church. So I did that. That was a lot of fun. I would get angry because people would learn the sign or think they learned the sign, but they would do it wrong. Like they would use three fingers instead of two, or like their hand shape would be different or their hand motion would be different than it was supposed to be. So I'd get angry. And that's when I found out I really, really had a passion and the heart for sign language. Not really deaf people, because I never met a deaf person before, but just sign language. I thought the language was very beautiful and very, you could put your emotion into it. You could put your heart into it. You could show your emotion on your face. You can show it in your body language, everything. So I just thought it was very, very fascinating, very interesting. When I was 12, my cousin was born. One of my cousins was born, and she was born deaf. And so when I found that out, I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to talk to her. When she gets, obviously not when she's an itty bitty baby, but when she gets older and old enough to sign and stuff, I'm going to be able to talk to her and be able to communicate with her. It's going to be great. And I did. She went to the deaf school for a while. Actually, until a couple of years ago, she went to the deaf school, and then they pulled her out, and now she's on in Columbus with an interpreter, and she does great. She does great with the interpreter. The interpreter there is awesome. She takes her time. She just really helps her out and knows that Sophia is behind in her classes and stuff, and so she just takes her time out. They'll have classes, like regular school, and then after school, she will go to her house and be like, okay, we're going to go over everything we learned today to make sure you learned it, make sure you understand it, you would be ready for a test if there was one tomorrow. She just really takes her time with her and helps her to understand, okay, this is what's going on, this is why this was this way, all that stuff. So, so she was born, and the interpreter helps her out there at school and stuff. My sister and I are able to talk to her, communicate with her. When I went to high school, there was a sign language program there at Franklin Community High School, and I did all 4 years there. I was the only person in 10 years to go from ASL 1 all the way through ASL 4, so that was cool. They actually said that during my graduation. They said like little tidbits about each person, like something that was cool, like this person was the running back, or this one was a cheerleader, or this one was in track, and they actually said that I was the first person in 10 years to go through ASL 1 all the way through ASL 1 through 4. So that was really cool. So that was that, and then my sister was right behind me. I graduated high school, and then she was coming in. So she did ASL 1, 2, and 3. And she also did Japanese, so that was cool. That was really neat. So she did ASL 1 through 4, 1 through 3. And so she was able to talk to Sophia too. And then a few years ago, my cousin Maddox was born, and he's 2 now, and he doesn't talk yet. He kind of says mom and dad, and his brother Keegan, he says M for Emily, his sister, but he really doesn't, he doesn't say like drink or eat or, anything like that. So he signs. He does like eat, more, drink, food, bathroom, dog, brother, sister, mom, dad, things like that. And so I get to talk to him, teach him new things. Just cool. I love teaching her kids things. She has 4 kids, and each one of them, the oldest is 16. She'll be turning 16 soon. And each of them I have taught something cool. So, with Maddox, the youngest one, I'll get to teach him words in sign language. So that's awesome. And so how did I get to where I am today? I did high school, all 4 years of high school, doing ASL. When I got out of high school, I did a year at Ivy Tech for like prerequisites and stuff. And then I went to VU for 2 years, got my associate's degree. Then I waited a year and a half. Shouldn't have, but I did. Waited a year and a half, and then I'm here at IUPUI. This is my 3rd semester here. And through the whole, ever since my junior year of high school, I've had one interpreter that's really just been after me. Courtney, you can do this. You're going to be great. You already know sign language. You have deaf people in your life. You have the background. You really have the heart for deaf people. You really have the heart for sign language. You really want to learn. You ask questions all the time. And her name is Judy. And I see her all the time at workshops. And when I graduated VU, she was there to cheer me on, be like, hey, you did it, yay. She was at my high school graduation, and we already planned that she would be here when I graduate IUPUI. So that's going to be really, really, really encouraging for me. Just to know that somebody in my field is like, hey, you can do this. You're going to do great. You're awesome. Just keep me encouraged. Because we all have days where we're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. That's it. Like, just throw our hands in the air and say I quit. But she's really encouraging. Her husband's deaf. So I get to interview him, for school and stuff like that. So both of them are just very encouraging. Christian people, I was kind of struggling last semester with the fact that I was going to have to say possibly, sometime in my career, I was going to have to say curse words. And, I asked her about that, and I'm like, I don't cuss. I barely say the word crap. Like, that is like, if I'm really mad or like something happened and I'm just like, crap. I'll say that, but that's the worst thing I say, and I sat down with her and I'm like, Miss Judy, like, what do I do? Because there's 5 million other people in this world that cuss and I don't. It's bound to happen sometime that I'm gonna have to say something. And she was like, Courtney, she looked at me, she was like, Courtney, you don't have to say those words. You can think of other words. You can get around it. You can totally eliminate the word. You can, she was like, if you feel comfortable saying the word crap, you can say crap. You can say, man. You can say, she was like, there's ways around it. You don't have to say those exact words. And so she's really been helpful. She's really been encouraging. So I met her my junior year of high school, and she just has been amazing. She would meet with me after class. I told her I wanted to be an interpreter. And she would meet with me after school, and we would just sit down, and I would be like, how would you say this? How would you do that? How would, there's not a specific word or a specific sign for this word, so how do I do that? And she would be like, well, what was another word? So we would get out the dictionary, and we would just be like, the thesaurus, the dictionary. We would get online. We would ask other people, and she would be like, what's another word for this? And we would just look it up, and she would be like, okay, there's 5 million words for this. You know one of those in sign language. So she's just been really helpful, but she's the main reason I want to be an interpreter. She just encourages me, and she's really cool. I want to be like her.